everyone, welcome. This is Talking Jobs with me, Dr. rbromnick. Welcome back everybody, and today what I'm going to talk about is making that move from your degree into the world of work. So some of you will have seen me talk about the DOTS model. This is a model that was derived by psychologists but widely used by careers lecturers and careers advisors. And it's DOTS, so that's to stand for decision making, your D. The O is for opportunity awareness. The T is transition learning, and the S is self-awareness. So that's the DOTS model. And much of this series of Talking Jobs, I've focused on the self-awareness. So we've got those episodes about trying to identify what is your passion, how the careers service can help you understand your values and so forth. And also I think I've focused quite a lot about the decision making by hopefully giving you lots of different ideas about what you can do with psychology. So for this recording, I want you to stay tuned because we're going to meet a very special guest and look at some of the later stages of that model in terms of how to be aware of opportunities and also about how to make that transition to the world of work. We're going to meet a new graduate from psychology who will tell you about their transition and hopefully inspire you and reassure you as well in your own journey. So stay tuned while we find out about how to go from your degree into the world of work. So welcome today, Hannah Aldrich.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, so great to see you again, Hannah.
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, I only just saw you the other week for my graduation.
I know.
I can't believe I finished my degree.
So let's tell readers, I will say readers. Let's tell listeners about yourself, Hannah. So you graduated really recently.
I have. So I've literally just finished my degree. Came out with a 2-1, which I'm incredibly pleased with. Yeah, and I've just landed myself a job with the university actually. So I'm the Research Governance Administrator. So essentially I deal with all the ethics applications for Masters, PhD, and then academics like yourself. We deal with all your ethics applications.
Right, great. So you're not using your psychology degree in a job that's called psychology.
No.
But
No.
you're using your degree.
I am.
How would you say you're using your degree in terms of the skills that you're using in your work?
Well, you won't believe it, but I'm actually now the Qualtrics administrator.
Ah.
So I did, for my dissertation, I did a questionnaire on Qualtrics. I was working with Nico.
Brilliant.
And I'm now actually the go-to person for the university. So anybody that has any problems with Qualtrics comes to me. And then we've learnt a lot about ethics as part of the psychology degree, and now that completely transfers to my everyday job. And I think it's quite nice actually having that psychology graduate perspective as well and bringing that to the team, because it means that I can help improve the policies and all the processes and help undergraduates like myself as I just was. So it's I'm currently in the process of updating the ethics application system for second year students. So that should hopefully be in place soon. So
you can see it from both sides.
Exactly, and I actually get to see that my things make an impact, which is really nice.
Oh, that's great. So I want us to dissect the part of your career that's between doing your degree and getting your job. So you were doing your degree, you're doing your dissertation, you were busy. At what point did you start seeking opportunities and looking to, think about what's out there?
So I started looking at graduate programmes, graduate schemes, around about the autumn time, and I applied to some of those. Wasn't successful in any of them, unfortunately, but everything happens for a reason. So I then turned my attention to general jobs. So I started just after Christmas about having a look around, mainly just searching for keywords on Indeed like psychology, data, analyst, that sort of thing.
So you knew you wanted a sort of data research.
Yeah, it's your statistics module. I fell in love with statistics, which I did not expect.
Do you know what really interests me, Hannah? I keep in touch, as you know, with as many of our graduates as I can, and there's so many people doing kind of data or analytic, but so many different jobs.
Yeah.
So I'm in touch with someone who's in public health research and someone who's working in commercial environments. You know, it's really varied as to what you can do. So I think that's a kind of message out there. If you love the stats and research side, it can be academic research, but it doesn't have to be, because there's so many things. So you started looking after Christmas. You used that Indeed website.
Yeah, which was really helpful. And then the other thing was looking at the university website. So the university offers internships. I can't remember exactly when they start being advertised, but just start looking after Christmas generally, I'd say, because they release them in waves, those. But those are 1 year jobs with the university. And
they're paid.
And they're paid,
you
yes.
have to mention that, because I think there's a myth, isn't there, about internships. You know, like people talk about working for Vogue or fashion and it's unpaid. Yeah. Scandalous.
Yeah, no, they get paid a very good wage, actually. And then those can sometimes lead on to full-time jobs with the university. I've got a friend who did the library internship and has now just started to roll there full-time and a permanent contract, which is amazing news.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so don't turn down internships. Look at them as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think generally, if you're talking about some of the internships here at the University of Lincoln, some people do want to go home to their hometown.
Yes.
And I would say look at your hometown university, because they're really good employers. Because we've got HR departments, we've got student wellbeing, we've got, you know, libraries. So there's a lot of different opportunities and often good employers. Yeah,
and HR is a great route to go down with psychology. They mix perfectly together.
Yeah, great. So let's think of some more tips for people. So you secured your role. I know you made good use of the careers service when you were here.
Yeah.
So do you want to just say a little bit about your interaction with them?
So I became quite a bit of a familiar face down there.
Oh, why not?
So the careers service are able to look at any application and tailor it to a specific job. So I would come to them every so often with, I've got a graduate scheme, or I've got a job that I'm interested in. Here's my CV, here's the questions they want, and they would help me tailor that. And they would make sure that if I'm not necessarily qualified for a job, which is often the case, they find those transferable skills and they highlight those, and, well, they helped me get a job.
Yeah, I think they can help. What I'm hearing from you is that they can help you articulate your achievements when you might not have even seen it like that yourself.
Yeah. But I think it's also quite hard when you start applying for jobs. You feel a bit big-headed because it's all about, I have done this, I have this skill. And I think it might be because we're English. It might be an English thing.
Do you know what I've heard, Hannah? I've heard it's an English thing, and it's also a woman thing.
Oh, really?
As a stereotype.
Yeah.
Men have less problem as a stereotype with saying, I can do this or I can do that. So if you're a English woman, it's part of our culture to be modest.
Yeah, but I think it's just a hurdle you've got to get over. And once you've done a couple of applications or just a couple of trial runs, you get a bit more used to saying, I've achieved this and I went to a conference and that sort of thing that you wouldn't necessarily feel comfortable initially talking about.
But the career service will help you, won't they, to identify those things.
They also do mock interviews as
so
well.
You can practice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So we're targeting some of our third years with this talk. So let's just see if we can sum up some advice for our third years, or third years anywhere in the country who might be listening.
Well, I mean, careers aside, for third years, a general tip is don't leave your dissertation till last minute. I've seen it happen and it's incredibly stressful. Just, particularly with psychology, because we have to do primary data analysis, get your questionnaires, get your studies out there early. So we've got the sonar system in psychology at the University of Lincoln, which is brilliant. So we are able to get students at the university to take part in our studies, and if you get on there early, you get more participants. So it's a bit of a race, really, in some cases. But
so get your dissertation done. What about lifestyle? What sort of did you stay well and healthy?
I must say I did have a few more snacks and bars of chocolate than I was probably intending to in third year. But I'd say keeping a routine is really important. So in third year, you might not necessarily have as many lectures, so you lose a bit of that structure, and you might wake up a bit later and work through the night rather than through the day and that sort of thing. I'd say it's really important, not necessarily to do 9 to 5, but just do it during the daytime if you can.
Did you find it a shock going into work after student life?
I did. I think I was generally quite good at getting up, you know, in the morning and going to bed in the evening, but I think it was more the working 9 to 5 solid. So I would always, I'm going to have a 10-minute break here. I'm going to have a walk for half an hour. I'm going to go to town and get a McDonald's. So I think that it was a shock in that I have to work and then have a break at lunchtime and then work.
Okay. And someone else is set that out.
And it was that I've got these deadlines. I've got a responsibility to get things done, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. And I've been in my job for about 3 months now, and I'm used to it. And I love it.
Oh, that's great. So any final comments for our listeners, Hannah? Your chance now to reach out to the School of Psychology and beyond. What is it like finishing your degree? What do you want to say?
Well, I have to say it's incredibly exciting. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's like there's an edge of the cliff, and I think it's because the way that I think that you go through education and you know what your next step is. You get primary school, secondary school, college, and it's always there's something there. And then you finish university, and unless you want to go on and do further study, do a master's, PhD, it's like, oh, what now? What do I do? So I think it's just having confidence in yourself that you will find something for you, and not to be ashamed if there is a bit of a gap. Some people, it will take them a couple of months or a bit longer to try and find something, but keep at it and have confidence in yourself, because if you lose that confidence and lose that momentum, that's when you will start to struggle a bit. So, and your friends and family are there to support you. So
I would say that's great advice. What I want to say as well, and I think you agree, is have confidence in your degree as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, so it's your self-confidence, but also it's in your degree to realise how versatile it can be.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing about psychology, is that it can be applied to so many different areas. So never be ashamed to have a psychology degree.
Always be proud.
I'll always be proud. I'm incredibly proud of, especially because it's the University of Lincoln and I love it. But
well, we loved having you here, Hannah.
Thank you, Rachel.
And we want to wish you all the best for your future.
Thank you.
And thank you. Will you come back again sometime?
Yeah, sure.
Give us an update down the line how you got on.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
All right. Well, thank you, Hannah. It just remains now for us to say goodbye. So bye.
Bye.